大家好，我的名字是Ademir Nascimento，我是Pernambuco大学的教授。Hello, you all. My name is Ademir Nascimento, and I am a professor of the University of Pernambuco in Brazil. And it's a pleasure to be here to discuss about industry in Brazil, so we can start a discussion and BRICS about the industrialization in these 5 countries. Today, we will focus on Brazil and China and compare a little about the industrialization in these 2 countries. Let me share my presentation with you. And before I start, I would like to thank you, Professor Orlando Gomes, for the invitation to this event. It's an honor to be here, and also an honor to talk with Professor Wei Jiang from the University of Tsinghua. I believe we can share a lot of interesting points and maybe interesting themes of research for other discussions. I would like also to thank you, Aline Tedeschi, for the moderation today and for all the help with the event. Our agenda and this presentation will be focused in only 2 points. First of all, I would like to present the Brazilian industrialization over time, quickly presentation of the time, especially for those who are not Brazilian, understand how our relationship before the independency of Brazil worked with Portugal. And in the second moment, I will present the profile of the Brazilian industry today. This profile was created by the National Confederation of Industries in Brazil and show very interesting data to guide our conversation and to allow a better comparison between the 2 countries. The first point, the Brazilian industrialization over time. We have 4 moments of Brazil history. The first moment is about the 3 first centuries of Brazil as a country, and in this period we could not have any kind of industry, and in the next years, from 1808 to 1930, we started really slow about to have some kind of industry, but once the coffee economy was too strong in Brazil, was very rare to have investments or a special attention to the industry. In 1930 to 1956, the president Getúlio Vargas gave a special attention to industry in Brazil, and we grew a lot. I believe it was one of the main periods to industry in Brazil, and we started to have a heavy industry in the country and a major investor from government to do this. From 1956 to today, we have a big stimulus to car industry in Brazil. The car industry, it's a little shake in Brazil because we had Ford that went to Argentina, but we also have a big stimulus to car industry in Brazil. I believe is the sector of the major stimulus from government, but we have now an opening to foreign capital stimulated by globalization to receive industry from other countries and other sectors. Knowing this, we go to the profile of Brazilian industry today. As I said, this is a C&I profile, the Confederation of Industry in Brazil. And first of all, I would like to show the participation of Brazil in the world industry. Unfortunately, it's not a good graph to show, but it's important to understand this as the first point. In 1994, we have 3% of participation in the world industry. But over the years, our participation is going down, unfortunately. Today, we have 2.1% of participation in the world. And to compare with other countries, and recently, we have this graph from 2018 that shows China as the main country in the industry in the world. And this year, China had 21.3%. It's 10 times more than Brazil, and the same year, it's a huge number and something we would love to understand and to study to develop better our industries here in Brazil. The second place is for United States, followed by Japan, Germany, and India. The other 4 countries are all close to Brazil, and Russia, Canada, United Kingdom, and France, all of them close to 2% as Brazil is. So it's very interesting we have this first conversation with China because it's about industry. It's a country we would like to know what's happening, how the modernizations are working to the country, and how Brazil and also other countries could learn with China, so we could develop our industry as well. Looking to inside, the Brazil industry had a GDP, gross domestic product, about 1.3 trillion reais in the last year, 2020. And percent, the industry is the main sector in the export. We have more than 2/3 when we talk about exports. And even Brazil having a tradition in agriculture, we have only 19% of export. Industry is also the main sector, even comparing with the traditional agriculture in Brazil. About the types of products, we see the food is our main product to export, made by industry. Then we have mineral ores, oil and gas, metallurgy, chemicals, and cars, paper, and move on. When you look to specifically products, and Brazil export the sugar as the main product, and followed by cellulose and oil, iron, and cars, and other kinds of products. We could highlight airplanes as one of the different kind of products we export. We have 2.3% of our exports in 2020 related to airplanes. And the main destinations of exports of the Brazil's industry is China, obviously, by far compared to other countries. We can see 27.9% of our exports in the industry goes to China, more than 1/4. Even the second place, the United States, is less than half than we export to China in 2020. Argentina, a neighbor country of ours, is only 5%, even being a large country in South America and being in a zone of free trade and the Mercosur here in South America. Then we have Netherlands, Canada, Chile, Singapore, all very close one to another. And it's also interesting to highlight why the investment in industry is important. And we are focused on this. We also have agriculture, we also have services, commerce, and other sectors. But when we invest £1 or the equivalent of yuan or dollar, we have more than 2 times this money generated in Brazilian economy. So to develop, to make the industry grow is good for the Brazilian economy, as looks to be good to China's economy. So when we invest in agriculture and commerce and service, we also have an interesting return, but in industry, this is higher. And however, the GDP of industry in Brazil is not high as we want. We have interesting points to understand with industry. And one of them is 9.2% of research and development made by companies is focused on industry. So more than 2/3 of R&D made by companies is made in industry. So when you have a lot of industry, we have more private investment in research and development. 1/3 of the taxes, national taxes at least, are made by industry, and we have a large participation in export when we are talking about industry. Just to show the amount of money, we have almost 17 billion reais invested in research and development in 2019, made by companies and focused in industry specifically. And this R&D investment is focused mainly in cars, chemicals, and transportation, followed by the pharmaceuticals, the IT and electronics, and machineries, and food and metallurgy. It's interesting to show and how these investments comes back to Brazil. We are known to not develop very well our products, and we have the export of raw material, but in industry we have an opportunity to develop more, to aggregate more value to our products as well, especially in these sectors I'm showing to you. And the industry is also important because the money they can share with the workers. We have 6.8 million workers in industry today. It's not the majority, is only 14.4%, but it's a sector that pays better than others. For instance, a worker with high degree and its average income is 5,800 reais. But if he or she works in the industry, he probably gains 2,000 more than the average income. A similar situation is shown for those who not have a high degree. You have a better salary, but not the difference not that big as when you look to workers with high degree. And these are the numbers of workers in industry in Brazil today. We are recovering. We lost a lot of workers in industry in the past few years, and now our industry is recovering, is hiring more workers to industry now. When you look to Brazil as a whole, we can see the states of São Paulo and especially the states in southeast and south of Brazil as those who hire more workers for industry. In São Paulo, we have almost a third of its workers in industry. And in other regions, we have way less, which shows an opportunity to spread industry in other states, in other regions of Brazil, so we can share more this kind of sector and share more the benefits of having industries over the country. And basically, that was what I wanted to show to you, so we can start a discussion. And we know this is a quick presentation, and I would like to talk to you and read your questions so we can discuss what Brazil is doing right, what Brazil is doing wrong, what could learn with China, what China could learn with Brazil, so we can share this kind of information. It will be a pleasure to discuss with you. Thank you